Hello, I'm futurist Thomas Frey, and I serve as the Executive Director and Senior Futurist at the Da Vinci Institute, and I'm also the Chief Advisor for the mainnet foundation governing KOK, known as K-Stadium. To give you a little background, I've been working as an international keynote speaker, traveling to 8 to 10 countries every year, speaking about topics ranging from the future of banking to the future of AI to the future of agriculture, education, healthcare, and transportation. Lately, most of my talks have included future visions for blockchain and cryptocurrency. I'm here to tell you the crypto world is far from over, not if I have anything to say about it, and KOK is perfectly positioned to become an industry leader, and here's why. Blockchain and cryptocurrency are paving the way for an entirely new kind of future. They are the logical next stage of evolution for currency and mediums of exchange all around the world. The work that I do as a futurist has forced me to become an avid researcher, a researcher of not just future trends, but also future thinking methodologies. So I tend to approach these topics using a toolbox filled with far more lenses than most futurists do. For this reason, I see the future as our greatest adversary. We are a very backward-looking society. We're backward-looking because it's just human nature. We've all personally experienced the past. We see evidence of the past all around us. In fact, all information we come into contact with is essentially history. For these reasons, the past is very knowable, and we're hardwired to look at the things that we already know and understand. The problem is we're going to be spending the rest of our lives in the future. For this reason, we are essentially finding ourselves walking backwards into the future, which is a pretty clumsy thing to do. As a futurist, my job is to help turn people around, to give them some idea of what the future might hold. The future creates the present. Now, this is just the opposite of what most people think. Most people think that what we're doing today is somehow going to create the future, but from a little different perspective, it is the images of the future that we hold in our heads determine our actions today. So if we change our vision of the future, we change the way we make decisions today. And that's exactly what I plan to do over the next few minutes. My plan is to change your vision of the future, and you'll walk away making slightly different decisions. A few years ago, I was introduced to Young Cho at an event I was speaking at in Korea, and we quickly became friends. At our first meeting, we toured a contemporary art museum, but our conversation quickly turned towards emerging technology. He was clearly light years ahead of the world on blockchain, and I was intrigued by the fact that his wife was also a blockchain expert. About a year ago, Young Cho invited me onto the advisory board for KOK, and I was honored to join the team. KOK had just contracted with Medium for its KOK operation and its mainnet development. Young had also assumed the role of chief architect with Medium. Since then, we've had many fascinating discussions surrounding the future of KOK. I've often thought that Young Cho was and is clearly one of the most credible people in the global crypto community. With an academic background of a PhD from North Carolina State, having completed the executive blockchain program at Draper University, and a business background of being a former vice president of Samsung, and an entrepreneurial background of having launched Crypto Valley Labs and KOK, and him and his wife being the co-authors of a best-selling book, The Blockchain Economy, I couldn't imagine a better person to head the KOK community. I should emphasize that it is the KOK community, those of you who are watching this video, you're what gives KOK its true value. Let me explain what we have planned for KOK. First of all, cryptocurrencies are not going away. While the recent market readjustment may have caused some people to reevaluate their importance, the KOK team has been blazing entirely new trails. K-Stadium is KOK's recently unveiled mainnet. This is KOK's biggest achievement so far. So what is a mainnet? Every cryptocurrency needs a blockchain network in order to be functional, but not all cryptocurrencies have their own blockchains. Most have started as KOK did on the Ethereum blockchain, but KOK now has its own blockchain, which means that very soon we will be creating new tools, apps, and capabilities unlike any other blockchain. When you're using the Ethereum blockchain, you need to follow their rules and be bound by their limitations. K-Stadium changes all that. Digital currencies that maintain their own blockchain network, referred to as a mainnet, are more likely to be the ones that last long into the future, providing unique value and service. This is what's separating the crypto men from the crypto boys. So why is a dedicated mainnet important for a cryptocurrency? Many factors help determine whether a cryptocurrency will be valuable in the future. Everything from wallet accessibility to market cap, community size, and the management team's commitment to making upgrades and revisions all along the way are important things to consider when looking at the ongoing viability of a cryptocurrency. And so is the uniqueness of the coin, the protocols, the tokenomics, the security, the business strategy behind it. However, I should emphasize that when competing in a networked world, the key to competitive advantage is no longer the sum of all efficiencies, but the sum of all connections. And that's where you come in. Since mainnets operate outside the boundary of a single country and outside the purview of any existing authority, it has become customary to establish a nonprofit foundation as the governing entity to both help develop strategies and manage the inner workings of the mainnet. The foundation for KOK was formed in 2019. Young Cho is the chairman of the KOK Foundation, and there are 4 key people serving on the advisory board. These board members include myself, David Thaw, a former corporate attorney who is now a crypto law professor at the University of Pittsburgh, Joel Kam, a serial entrepreneur who is also the co-host of the Bad Crypto podcast, which is one of the world's top cryptocurrency-focused podcasts, and he's also the co-host of the world's first podcast exclusively for NFTs called the Nifty Podcast, and Jill Kerrigan, who is currently the Chief Operating Officer at Ingledod Media, but also a serial entrepreneur and a blockchain expert who is closely tied to Hollywood and the global entertainment industry. We view ourselves as being the think tank behind strategies for KOK. K-Stadium will not only sustain the project, but also bring endless potential to the near future through its main pillar of being an inclusive economy where members will be rewarded fairly according to their contributions. KOK's community pool has grown to nearly $100 million USD in just over a month, which proves we have fulfilled legitimate need by our community to evolve to the next level. Furthermore, the numerous decentralized apps that we are continually planning to integrate into the KOK Stadium network as sidechains is projected to produce huge returns. These will be divided into rewards, marketing, and additional investment to maintain the momentum and positive returns. Young people today will be our future designers. Engineers, architects, doctors, dentists, scientists, researchers, politicians, lawyers, and our future business leaders. They will be inheriting a world filled with problems: aging infrastructure, crumbling systems, corrupt governments, radically disruptive technology, ethical dilemmas, and a host of seemingly impossible situations. At the same time, we're entering a world that will require higher caliber people to make it work. And it is ridiculous for us to think that our existing systems can suddenly start producing better results. That's where KOK comes into play. We will illustrate that with the help of AI and other tools, people in the future will view themselves as being in a constant state of improvement. This means that over the coming decades, we will become exponentially more fixable, trainable, repairable, improvable, and even reinventable. It will no longer be about who we are today, but who we have the potential to become, and KOK will be a critical tool for getting us there. Until next time, this is futurist Thomas Frey, wishing you a terrific future. Thank you.